Fire leaves 13 homeless. 13 people, 6 of them children, are now homeless after a fire destroyed their house at 129 Barbican Road in St. Andrew on Tuesday. A restaurant on the property was also razed. 3 units from York Park Fire Station fought the blaze, which was said to have been caused by a lit candle. Being mindful of chronic diseases after burial, says PNP. The opposition People's National Party PNP, while extending sympathies to people affected by Hurricane Beryl, says it is crucial to also evaluate the health status of those impacted by the disaster. The main health threat to our population recovering from a natural disaster are not the infectious diseases, often dramatizing its movies, but the exuberation of chronic conditions leading to increased deaths from heart attack, stroke, and uncontrolled diabetic, stated opposition spokesperson on health Dr. Alfred Dawes. While we must remain vigilant against diseases like leptospirosis, chikungunya, and dengue, the stress and disruption caused by the hurricane can elevate blood pressure and blood sugar levels. Many victims have lost their medications, cannot refill prescriptions, and are unable to visit clinics or physicians. Research shows that this pose the greatest risk to hurricane survivors, stated the PNP spokesman. It is essential for individuals with chronic illnesses to consistently take their medication and monitor their blood pressure and blood sugar levels where possible, stated Dr. Dawes, who recommended that the Ministry of Health and Wellness include the deployment of medical personnel to assist patients with chronic diseases as a major part of the national response to the hurricane. Pregnant women and those with chronic conditions are particularly vulnerable and should be prioritized for interventions. Mobile clinics offering prescription refill, blood pressure and glucose monitoring, and mental health support can save lives and significantly improve overall well-being, he stated. Dr. Dawes also called on Jamaicans to reach out to friends and relatives affected by burial so as to conduct welfare checks. Post-traumatic stress disorder, depression, and anxiety are silent epidemics that often arises in the aftermath of such catastrophes, he stated. Mental health is frequently overlooked until it is too late. However, a kind word or gesture can go a long way in reassuring victims that they are not alone, stated Dawes. In this challenging time, let us be the hope that lights the way to better days ahead of our brothers and sisters, said the PNP spokesman. Integrity Commission says it's close to wrapping up process related to PM statutory declaration. The Integrity Commission, IC, says it is close to wrapping up the process related to the statutory declarations of Prime Minister Andrew Holness. The IC is yet to certify the declarations of the Prime Minister from 2021, which has affected subsequent years. Chairman of the Commission, retired Justice Seymour Panton, spoke to the issue in the IC's 2023-2024 annual report, which was tabled in Parliament on Tuesday. He acknowledged that much has been written and said in respect to the non-certification of the Prime Minister's statutory declarations. Panton also noted that the Integrity Commission Act made special provision for the statutory declarations of the Prime Minister and Leader of the Opposition Mark Golding, who are the only two individuals whose certified declarations are made public in some form. The IC chairman also pointed to challenges faced by the Commission. He outlined that the Director of the Information and Complaints is required to examine the declarations and, where he is satisfied that it has been duly completed, he is to inform the Commission. Upon being so informed, the Commission is to publish a summary of the declaration in a form that is set out of the third schedule of the Act. It must be remembered that to satisfy himself to the due completion of the statutory declaration, the Director of Information and Complaints shall make such enquiries as he considers necessary. The enquiries are aimed at determining accuracy, stated Panton. Given the restrictions imposed by the Act as regards statutory declaration generally and matters related thereto, I may only say that the processes of the Commission are near the completion in respect of the Prime Minister's declarations, Panton added. The opposition leader said repeatedly, taking swipes at the Prime Minister over the non-certification of his statutory declarations for more than 2 years running. During a public squabble in May that was related to Golding's dual Jamaican and British citizenship, which Holness said was irrevocable even if Golding was to renounce. Golding hit back, stating that Holness' uncertified declarations disqualified him from being Prime Minister. Burial damage to schools estimated at $797 million. The Ministry of Education and Youth says the passage of Hurricane Beryl caused $797 million in damage to schools in 6 of the 7 educational regions. In a release on Tuesday, the ministry said its technical officers gave the preliminary costs following their post-disaster assessment, and that the majority of this price tag is for schools in the parishes of St. Anne and Trelawney. According to the ministry, schools in other parishes have been negatively impacted, but due to the communications disruption and impassable road conditions, the information has not been submitted or verified. It must be noted that the preliminary submission does not account for any of the schools in Region 2, St. Mary, Portland, and St. Thomas because of disruptions in amenities. It is hoped that by Friday of this week, all the post-assessments will be completed so that prioritization and procurement decisions can be effected, a release from the ministry stated. The ministry also noted that some libraries suffered infrastructural damage, and as such, some planned summer program activities, which were geared to serve approximately 2,000 youths across the 6 regions, will be rescheduled. The ministry understands the importance of these programs and is working diligently to ensure that they can process as soon as possible. It is safe to do so, the release stated. It said that the 110 public libraries under the Jamaica Library Service JLS, one of the most heavily trafficked branches, the Greater Portmore branch, has suffered severe damage. The violent winds associated with Hurricane Beryl have stripped the facility of its roof, resulting in its closure to the public until further notice. The Greater Portmore branch serves 6,587 members from surrounding communities, and its closure has impacted the local populace significantly, the release further stated. It said the JLS staff members across the network remain actively engaged in recovery efforts, noting that their primary focus is on securing high net value property such as computers, printers, and book collections to minimize further loss. We are pleased to report that, with the exception of the main library in St. Elizabeth, all main libraries in the parishes are open for public access. We urge the public to utilize these facilities while recovery efforts are underway, the release noted. Providing a further breakdown of the damage sustained in the areas assessed, the release noted that at the ministry's Heroes Circle and Canewood campus, there were significant issues in buildings 1 and 2, necessitating urgent repairs to prevent further damage and ensure the building remains operational throughout the hurricane season. In terms of the Child Protection and Family Services Agency, CPFSA, the ministry said the majority of the agent's childcare facilities and offices have only seen minimal damage caused by the passage of Hurricane Beryl. There was, however, major damage to the Manning Child's Care Facility in St. Elizabeth. Damage was done to the roofs of the facility's kitchen, main dining room, a dormitory, and the forming equipment storeroom, it noted. The release further noted that there was also damage done to other children's homes, and the CPFSA will be making contact with the National Works Agency and other government agencies to request repair to be made to these facilities. For the Early Childhood Commission (ECC), the release said the ministry is actively working with relevant authorities and service providers to ensure the swift restoration of services and infrastructure across the ECC's Kingston-based headquarters and the 11 resource centers affected. Education and Youth Minister Favor Williams was also quoted in the release expressing the ministry's commitment to addressing the challenges swiftly. This administration is committed to ensuring that our educational facilities are safe, functional, and ready for the upcoming school year, especially as we navigate an expected and active hurricane season, she noted. The infrastructural safety and functionality of our buildings are paramount, and as such, we are mobilizing all necessary resources to mitigate further damage and safeguard our staff and students, she added. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, and click the notification bell for daily updates.